I'm now going to introduce the idea of something called entities to you. Entities are a way of being able to include in your HTML document characters which are either wouldn't normally be allowed or perhaps aren't available on a standard keyboard. So let me show you what I mean by this. Say for example that I did actually want to put some spaces, more than one space, between the I and the hope. Okay, so if I just actually put the space character like so and save it and refresh, then you'll notice here that nothing's happened. If you remember, the web browser will take notice of the first white space character, but any additional one after that it will just completely disregard. However, there is a way of forcing it to include extra white space, and that is to use this thing called an entity. And an entity is a little bit of code that tells a browser to insert a specific character. They always start with an and sign. The one for a space is NBSP, and then they always also end with a semicolon. So that little bit of code there, the NBSP colon, will add a single space character. Let's add a few of them just so that we can see that it's worked. And refresh it, and there we go. So it's now added those extra space characters. Another example of this is where perhaps you want to use a character which is used within the HTML markup scheme. So perhaps a less than or greater than character. Let me show you an example. Maybe I did actually want to, within the text, put that. Perhaps I was actually showing someone how you would how you would code it, and I actually wanted to show it within my HTML document. If I save that and view it, then you'll notice that the browser thinks that that's just another tag because it looks like every other tag. So I'm going to have to use an entity for the less than or greater than symbols here. The entity for less than is just and LT colon. For greater than it's just and GT colon. And that will then get replaced by the browser with the actual character that I intended. There we go. For an example of perhaps a character that doesn't normally exist on a keyboard, let's take a copyright symbol maybe. Let's just add copyright tag. So the entity for copyright is and copy. There we go, copyright of me. Let's just save that and then refresh. And there we go. It's inserted the copyright symbol instead of my entity. There's a whole list of entities that are available that you might want to use. It's probably just a case of looking them up. If, for example, we had a quick look within Google under HTML entities, then there are long lists of them available. There we go, there's some commonly used character entities. It can either be defined by an entity name, or you can actually use the character map number.